Yo, I put it like wow, this that sound. These oaks don't work hard like me, I hope they know by now. Bayo Bab, stand my ground. Bro, these money trees go overseas like Percy Tau. I make sure you stay around, quiet when I'm under loud. No negatives allowed, me and positivity took a vow. I always play to win, don't anticipate loss. Mind always in the clown, my boy. Never think about the drop, never ever ever think about the drop.
If that opening song didn't have you bopping up and down, you have no soul, you have no life, you're probably a white person who listens to Engelbert Humperdinck, and we don't want you on this show. No, we don't mean that. As the bass kicked in, the whole team started crumping, twerking. What are other dance moves? Whatever they were, people were doing it. There is definitely a feel of Fridays up in the PTP studio. One final day, MKT is down in Cape Town doing some work, not just eating sushi off waitresses. We don't know if this is true or not. This is the PTP Takeover Show, Friday edition. MKT's got a theory about the long lunch. I'm going to debunk that theory. We got Senzo, we got Flip, we got football, we got Friday Fives. I got a bit of an itch that I need scratching. Find out what it is after we make the spinny things happen. Roll them. Roll call, it definitely stinks of the Fridays. Fridays just have a different smell. Now, MKT has a thing. He calls it the long lunch. He thinks people make meetings very far away from the office first thing on Friday. Hey, 11 o'clock meeting. I'm going to make it the other side of town. And then guess what? You don't come back to the office, long lunch. I roll with high rollers. Let me tell you how high rollers operate. They're not even lunching. They've packed the bikes onto the back of their Discovery. 3 o'clock this morning, they drove through to Clarence for some mountain biking. By now, they're probably on the 21st hole. That's how long they've been playing golf. Some of them jumped in a helicopter. 6 o'clock this morning. God knows where they go. That's how the guys who own companies operate. So if you're trying to find an excuse for your boss, and your boss is one of those guys, guess what? He doesn't even know whether you're there or not. So don't go in. If you're not on the long lunch, settle down, open up your browser, make that screen big. If you're on YouTube, make that screen big. This is the PTP show. We've been taking over for the past few days. I was here yesterday. MKT is down in Cape Town. I've got the always essential Essential Senzo with me. Senzo, what's happening, my friend?
I am a man. No, man, I'm good. I changed my fantasy team today.
This is what I like. Yesterday, you would have seen, even if you didn't watch the show, you follow us on social media, Senzo Sitebe Handsome-ish. Sitebe Handsome-ish. I don't know why, as that popped up on the screen, that looked different to me.
I don't know, bro. I don't know.
We put a little post out there about Senzo going, I'm not going to play fantasy anymore. I've given up. But self-reflective people, as the information changes, the opinion changes. He's had one more crack at it. He is wondering, maybe his team's kit is the reason he's not doing so well. He's got a pretty plain white kit. He has done his team. I don't know if we have a graphic. I know you try to share a graphic with the team. Not yet. Give us two. Senzo, let's go into your team. The name of your team, remind us. A great name.
Los Citebes.
Los Citebes.
Yeah.
On that, did you ever watch that show, Cuervos, on Netflix, about the Mexican soccer team?
I did. The one with Maradona.
No. This was fictional, right? So it's like this weird telenovela set in Mexico about a Mexican soccer team.
Yeah.
And the owner of the club dies, and his two kids take over the team.
Yeah.
And the daughter is this like crazy business person, and the son is just like a celebrity socialite.
Yeah.
And now they try to take over the team. The son wants to turn the team into the Real Madrid of Mexico. The daughter just wants to make money and sell the team. I think it's Club de Cuervos.
I'll
Club de
check
Cuervos.
it out.
Watch that. It is great football programming. So outrageous.
Yeah.
Senzo, let's hear your team.
Right.
Now, if you recall yesterday, you had a lot of injuries.
Yeah,
You went early on a couple of players. Have you wild-carded? Are you...
No, wild-carded like I had to.
Wild-carded?
Yeah.
How do you still have a wild card so late? That's the thing, dude. That's the thing. You got a wild card. 3 weeks, dude.
Yeah, so like my team, I'm actually, it's looking pretty nice. But like if I don't do anything this week, then I quit. I
Really?
No, I'm just gonna
listen, dude. That's a big call because remember, Fantasy League World, we've had internationals, plus we got Champions League. The big teams, if they can, they're rotating.
Yeah, so yeah, man, I've got
Big week to make a final call.
Yeah, well, in
Let's
goals, it's Hugo Lloris.
Right.
Then my defense is Reguilon, Luke Shaw, Joao Cancelo, Virgil van Dijk.
Good going.
And then in my midfield, it's Bruno Fernandes, Kovacic, Smith Rowe, Mason Mount, up front, Saint Maximin and Ronaldo.
Big call, hoping some big Newcastle, big Saudi energy is going to be washing over St. James's Park, a.k.a. the Sports Direct Arena. Will that name go now? Thinking about it.
It probably will.
I wonder.
It'll probably fall.
James, Ryan, I don't know if you guys heard Senzo's team there. First thoughts. He's gone big on Saint Maximin. Saint Maximin should be better. All flash, no substance. What are you guys thinking?
For someone who always talks to me about how Liverpool's a one-man team with Virgil van Dijk, it's interesting he has him on his team now.
Yeah,
I just thought.
Yeah, because he releases people. I mean, Trent is injured, so I mean.
Also, the same person that said Van Dijk wouldn't come back as strong is now in your team.
He didn't come back as strong, but that's
good question. Not on the fancy. Has Van Dijk? That you can see the guy's been out for a year.
Yeah.
Right, James. Am I right? You can see.
Yeah.
The guy's been out for a year.
But also, it's still very early, guys. Like, if I want to see him in November, December, like what he does. Let's see what he does. Because we know in 2 weeks' time that he's going to flop because he's coming to the biggest arena and he's playing against the King. So, and the King's going to make him look very average. They're going to make him
one-man team.
Huh?
I think Kendrick Lamar said it. Be humble. Let's not talk it up before we get there.
Nah, don't worry. James knows. He's scared. Van Dijk is probably having sleepless nights about it. But
Definitely.
yeah, we'll see.
Let's listen. That's a big call. I think it's a big call to put all on one weekend. Why don't you give that team until the end of the month? The two games.
Yeah, no,
right?
I'll give it to you.
Do that. I don't want to see because at least I know if you're playing, there's one more person I can beat. I don't like beating ghosts.
All right, Paulo. All right.
It is the PTP show, takeover of the MKT show. There we go. There's Senzo's team. Have a look at it. Screen grab it. Maybe you think that is a good team. Maybe you're looking for some advice.
I didn't put police. No, that's definitely not my team.
Oh no, that is not his team.
That is definitely not my team.
It's the one you sent me.
No.
Oh, it's all falling apart. It's all falling apart. This is what happens on the PTP show. Anyway, We've heard it. We've moved on. Senzo banking it all on his team for this week's Fantasy League. So it is a Friday. We take it a little bit loose on a Friday. Some may say you take it loose on a Friday compared to what? We got the Friday 5, like I say, flips coming up later. We're going to be talking about the world of football. We got some crazy, crazy stories. Marcus Rojo is misbehaving, acting the bollocks again. We got a crazy story about snowflakes in American high school soccer. And Mesut Ozil, guess what he's up to? Guess what Mesut Ozil is up to these days? But first, James, can we roll the Friday 5? I want to talk to you about Friday 5. 5 footballers. Sometimes you're watching football and you go, whatever happened to that guy? Is he still playing? Where is he? I want to run through Friday 5 of 5 footballers you can't believe are still playing. You're going to know some of these names. An uncomfortably high proportion of ex-Manchester City players, given the amount of money you imagine they would have earned at City, you wouldn't think they'd need to be taking into their retirement fund. But this is the Friday 5 of 5 players you can't believe are still playing. We found him in the Premier League. He was playing for Blackburn at a stage. I think he was a teammate and strike partner of Benny McCarthy. Gorgeous man to look at. Gets himself a move to Man City. Jaunts around Spain. I think the only word is jaunts, with such a beautiful hairline, jawline. The man's name, sexiest name in football, Roque Santa Cruz, 40 years old, still playing football in Paraguay. Playing for Olympia. Not only is he still playing, captain of the team, and currently sitting on 66 goals. 148 games, 66 goals.
Not bad, actually.
Roque Santa Cruz. That's what Ronaldo's got to be aiming for. 40 years old, still playing, bagging the goals, still gorgeous as ever. This is what the rumors say.
He's a good-looking guy, man.
We'll talk about it after I've run through the 5. Him and Benny McCarthy making a potent strike force.
Yeah, they played together at Blackburn, yes.
South America, of course. Some people may say it's easier to carry on your career in South America. Controversial player, controversial Argentinian, came into the English game on the back of a lot of very dodgy dealings. Went to Manchester United, left Manchester United to go to City, left behind a billboard, and then at Manchester City decided, hey, I'm just not going to play. I'm going to upset Roberto Mancini. I'm just not going to play. They made a terrible movie, currently on Netflix. It sucks, about his life story. Carlos Tevez, still playing for Boca Juniors
No, man.
in Argentina. He's with the squad, he's training, he currently hasn't made an appearance yet, doesn't have a squad number, it is pretty loose, it is playing in the loosest sense of the word, but he's still part of the squad, it's still part of the setup, can step in any day, is Carlos Tevez. Remember that guy, him, Ronaldo, Rooney at United, probably one of the most frustrating front 3 I think was existing anywhere across Europe at that time. This guy got retired. Gareth Bale retired him. A young Gareth Bale. Anyone who remembers when Gareth Bale came to the public consciousness playing for Tottenham Hotspur against Inter Milan. Taxi for Maicon. Another Manchester City player.
Oh, he took him for a jog 3 times.
He destroyed Maicon's career. There he is trying to keep up with Pepe. That's a slow foot race. Is that Pepe? Not 100% sure. Maicon, 40 years old. This guy's teams read Monaco, Inter Milan, Manchester City, Roma, Sona, and now playing for a club called Tre Penne in the city of San Marino. The San Marino second division.
Serious?
Semi-professional. Must be a very nice life down there. Maicon, I can't believe he is still playing. 40 years old. Well done to the guy. Do they need the money? That's what you got to ask. Why are they doing this? Controversial. The guy could start a fight in an empty room. A bulldog of a striker. Chelsea, Atletico Madrid, Brazil, Spain. What are we talking about? This guy's so controversial. He played for 2 international teams.
He's the man, bro.
What an ugly looking guy. I gotta be honest, I'm not Brad Pitt.
Yeah, yeah.
But listen, like I say, could start a fight in a dirty room. The clown prince of shithousery, sorry for my language. I can't believe he's still playing. Diego Costa in Brazil for Atletico Mineiro. Strike partner with Hulk. There is him in his Chelsea days, a long way away. Believe it or not, he is actually only 33 years old.
You serious? What's wrong with Diego Costa?
I'm telling you, so Diego Costa came to Portugal actually very early on in his career. I'm telling you right now, he came on a false passport. That dude, his parents waited till they're 12 years old to go register him at the Home Affairs. There is no way he is only 33 years old.
Nah.
A face only a mother wants to punch. Diego Costa, I can't believe he's still playing. And playing in Copa Libertadores, right?
Yeah.
The Champions League of South America. And still on the roster, still a legitimate choice for Spain. Not retired from Spain. I stand corrected. I don't think he's retired for Spain yet.
Chuck, do you think he's ever gonna play for that team?
Hey,
ever
why
again?
not? He can babysit. Ryan giving me the thumbs up on Diego Costa. Listen, the last two, I'm going to do a two for one, because these two are going to blow you away, right? Alex Ferguson admits he only ever signed one player without ever seeing him play. Ferguson had a great network of scouts that pass on the information, but at least he would see a video of a player. Trusted Lieutenant Carlos Queiroz comes to Ferguson and says, listen, you trust me. I got you Ronaldo. I got you Nani. I'm definitely on a hot streak here. There is a kid. He's just emerged in Portugal. Homeless kid. He played in the Homeless World Cup. He caught everyone's attention. He lives in a hostel. He just made his first team debut as a professional. One man. This guy's the next to Zabu, Ronaldo, Nani, Figu, Deku, all rolled into one. He's a grown-ass man. His name is Bebe. He is the next thing gonna happen. Stunk the place out. Listen, when you see a footballer who's come through an academy system and you saw Bebe, you go, that is raw as hell. Came to Manchester United, but then he went off. He did a couple of things. Benfica. Got some time at Benfica as well. Besiktas.
Yeah.
And he settles at Rayo Vallecano, where he's been for a while and had a decent career. No, I take that back, because he's cumulatively scored in 100 odd games, 16 goals for Rayo Vallecano. But he's a cult hero there. They love him. Manchester United fans, will we ever forget Bebe? He is the final half of our last player. I can't believe he's still playing, because guess what? What could have been at Old Trafford? What could have been up front at Old Trafford? Because Bebe's strike partner at Rayo Vallecano in the second division in Spain, another glorious looking man. I want to make love to his headers. His name is Falcao. I can't believe he is still playing second division in Spain. 35 years old. Knees have been replaced by day-old spaghetti. But he's still going strong. This guy was the guy. He was the most potent striker all of Europe. Porto, Monaco, Atletico Madrid stank up the Premier League. Let's be honest. What the hell was that about? No one kept the receipt for that one, and it was terrible. Anyway, he's scoring goals at Rayo Vallecano. 4 games, 3 goals. 4 games, 3 goals. Him and Bebe, the most feared strike partnership in what's second division in Spain? Liga B?
Yeah, Liga B.
In that one.
Liga Segunda.
Liga Segunda. That's where it is. 5 players you can't believe are still playing. The very toit, the very sexual Roque Santa Cruz. What a name. It's the sort of name that you want to order off a menu.
Roque Santa Cruz. Yeah, you're electrifying if you've got that kind of name.
Carlos Tevez, the man who's burnt his skin in a childhood accident and actually never got plastic surgery to fix it up, because he never wanted to forget where he came from. Apache, that's what they call him. Crazy, crazy guy, Carlos Tevez. Maicon, you thought he left with Gareth Bale, but he carried on playing. He's playing in San Marino. Nice job if you can get it. Players I can't believe are playing. Diego Costa, 33 years old.
Imagine, folks.
Oh, I've seen copies of the U magazine, younger than Diego Costa. And then finally, Bebe and Falcao. 2 names between 2 men. 3 goals between them this season. These are the players that I can't believe are still playing. Neither will you. Let's get some input on those players from my studio mates. Senzo, who's your favorite? Let's have a chat.
My favorite there is probably Tevez. Tevez was Tevez was something until he went across the road and then but he was unhinged at City as well.
Tevez is a player you can only love when he plays for your team. And don't forget, Tevez played for Juventus as well, right?
He did, yeah.
This is a guy you can only love when he plays for your side.
Yeah.
That's 100%. Because when he played for United, loved him. Because that guy would run through brick walls.
Yeah, exactly. And he's like a bulldog.
Total bulldog. Listen, and you know what? Like, he's also a guy that is not what you'd say won the genetic lottery. He's not got the build of an athlete. You know, typical Argentinian build, short, stocky, Boca number 10. But to still be going at his age, lots of miles on the tank, and that way that he ended up at in England.
Yeah.
Through that whole weird.
Wasn't he at Corinthians as well before?
He was at Corinthians. So it was. He didn't belong to a club.
He belonged
he was
to
owned by Kier Jarapshin.
Yeah.
I think that was the name. Him and Mascherano.
Yeah.
So he actually owned them as a group and loaned him to various clubs.
Yeah.
And then of course West Ham took it and was only at Manchester. I think he was even on loan at Manchester United. It was the same deal.
Loan, yeah.
I think it was only City that actually broke it and actually bought him out. Yeah. And doesn't third-party ownership never been big in England?
Then he went to China. He was earning all the money in the world.
Of course, he went to China. That was crazy. At one stage, the world's highest-paid player.
Yeah.
Who is it? Is it Oscar? Is one of the world's highest-paid players.
Yeah.
Also sitting out. I was going to put him in the list, but he's still young enough. Listen to me. Just on the topic of Oscar, crazy career move he makes. Moves to China, 22 years old.
Yeah.
Going to spend his contract finishes now. Mm-hmm. Does the guy retire at 27, 28? Or does he come back to
go back
Europe,
to England? Go back to Europe.
Pick up his club. A really cool story. Roque Santa Cruz.
Yeah.
Heading machine. I remember that guy was beast in there.
The only reason I don't like Roque Santa Cruz because he's scored against Bafana Bafana 2002 World Cup. Imagine that guy's played in the 2002 World Cup.
40 years old.
Yeah, Roque Santa Cruz.
And he's still first choice captain for Olympia, who aren't a small team in Paraguay.
Yeah.
I mean, they're competitors.
Yeah, exactly. So like he's still. Well, it seems to be like
Well
keeping
done, Tim. What do you think it is? You think it's a style of play? You think players adapt, or you just think it's just genetics? It's just they're just able to.
I think it's the style of player because you can't. To go in Europe until you're 40, yeah, well, you must be having whatever Zlatan's having, but like.
But even Zlatan, it's like he picks and chooses, and I've got to say, I know he's come back from injury, but Zlatan is. I find him. He's always been thuggish. But now he just seems like a complete thug. Like he's playing for like 5 minutes at a time. I don't know if you saw him grab Lucas Leiva the other day. He just looks like he just wants to fight now.
all the time, yeah.
Last
season, he nearly fought Lukaku. I was like, okay,
yeah.
I'd have paid money for that fight.
Yo, they were going on the King of Milan, the two of them.
No, but like I think Zlatan would kick Lukaku.
Yeah, no, Zlatan's beating most footballers.
Because doesn't he have like a black belt in Taekwondo or something? He's like 6'5".
He claims.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever seen that video of him kicking or fly kicking something Eric Bailly, trying to kick his head off. Good stuff.
Maicon, well, he got toasted by Gareth Bale after that. He was never the same. Gareth Bale said, "I'm going to do this to you 3 times." And Maicon isn't exactly slow. Eh?
No,
he wasn't slow.
Not slow at all.
Yeah, but Gareth Bale was like, "I'm going to show you."
Trey Pena in San Marino second division. I want to go over to Ryan, Chelsea fan. You were fist pumping when I was talking about Diego Costa. Tell me why that man makes you so happy, Ryan.
He's a club legend. During the 2014-2015 season when Conte was still around, he's like a cheat player, especially on FIFA. If you play with him on FIFA, he is the ultimate cheat player for Chelsea. Anytime he got the ball, he was clinical and he got the ball in. Him and Marcus Alonso used to work quite well back in the day.
Underrated, 89 games, 52 goals for Chelsea. That's a great record.
It's a fantastic record.
Am I seeing that right? I never realized he played so few games for Chelsea. 89, not even 89 games.
Yeah. No, it wasn't long. And the worst part was it ended so badly because Conte at the time, him and Conte didn't get on well. You know, Conte he was quite demanding in terms of what he wanted for the team. And Diego Costa, he's that kind of guy where he just does his own thing. He's violent on the pitch. He'll do whatever he has to do to get that ball in the goal. And they just didn't get on. And unfortunately, that's... I think either he was sold before Conte got booted or he left... I think he went to Atletico afterwards.
He went to Atletico Madrid, right?
Speaking of Atletico Madrid and Brazilians/Spanish people, there's breaking news. Fabinho and Alisson won't feature for Liverpool tomorrow against Watford. the pair have flown straight to Madrid in preparation for their Champions League clash against Atletico Madrid.
That's confirmed. So, listen, I think in a weird way, not the worst thing if you...
Yeah, they're playing Watford. So.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, no game in the Premier League is easy. There's always banana skins, let's not forget. Brentford 3, Liverpool 3. But, like I say, that may come back. Fabinho is such a crucial part of your team, not a youngster. That may come back to be of benefit. No harm getting a 5-day rest at this part of the season. So no harm, no foul. Is that Liverpool Atletico Madrid next week?
Yeah.
That group is fantastic. What an awesome group that is. That means it's AC Milan, Porto. I love that group in the Champions League. And
also, I just want to point out, I don't know if the viewers watching have noticed that the set has been violated. MKT, I wish he was here, because the set now has a Manchester United scarf on the table. And that is terrible. I mean, we're talking about Diego Costa, a club legend.
Ignore
and then
this
we
guy.
have Senzo pulling up here with this thing that he bought
You arrived yesterday, so
off
shut
the
up.
street.
When it's your set and Mbulelo's here, you can have the Chelsea scarf. but
so
the
that is
takeover
it.
done.
That is it right there.
The takeover is done.
That is it right there. We're going to get a shot on it in a bit closer up. Ryan, I didn't want to, send the camera guys all over the place. I mean, we've got 8 camera guys in here running all these cameras. It's quite a high-tech, sophisticated operation. But yes, that is it. We've been sitting here defiling ourselves. That's the only word I can use, with a Chelsea scarf. Now, Senzo, what I love about this scarf, right? Mm-hmm. Anybody who's been to Old Trafford, been to games, this is not megastore stuff. Yeah. This is the real legit Mancunians. My father went to school with Bobby Charlton.
Yeah.
Who are selling scarves. The wives are knitting scarves on match day. This is legit Manchester United, not Manchester United PLC sort of stuff. Yeah. That is a great.
It's bordering on Newton Heath.
Yes. Green and gold till the club is sold.
Yes, this is Newton Heath kind of stuff.
Well done for that, Senzo. I think of everything we've done. To defile the MKT show and scrub his smugness from the set. Yeah. Changing the logos, changing the name, changing hashtags. That is the filthiest move.
That's why Ryan's crying about it.
That is the move that is akin to the move that got the Gupta's bust. Yes. I think this is it. This is how it felt when the Gupta went. It was just enough. Look at that.
You see, we had a winning team scarf on the table, and now we have a losing team scarf on the table.
This is prestige. You wouldn't know about prestige. Chelsea are like lottery winners. You guys changed your badge, you know. The big boys are talking. You keep quiet. You're an adolescent kid. Keep quiet.
But if I'm not mistaken, Manchester United changed their badge too. What does that have to do with it?
No, you wouldn't understand. Chelsea, they've got that Chelsea that new money thing. That scarf was probably bought this year at Total Sport or whatever. That, my boy, is from Old Trafford. And not the mega stores, Paolo tells you.
You can still smell the bacon rolls on that.
Exactly.
You can smell the bacon rolls. That is authentic.
If MKT was just here to see this, he would be so disappointed.
This is the final straw. I will never be allowed to host the show again. Some may say, thank God. Some may say, that is the best. More flags. More flags. I hear you say.
Yeah.
I want to tell the story. Maybe I don't get another chance. Up the road from Old Trafford is a pub called The Trafford. Okay, it is the rowdiest post, mid-game pub in anywhere. The fans who go in there are absolute mad. What they do to control the crowds is that it is quite a big space, but obviously in the UK they got to stop serving alcohol at a certain time. So they start bringing the barriers around from the bar, because it's a circular bar, closer and closer to the door, squeezing the crowd eventually out the door. So people fall out the door and then they don't let them back in. That's the only way they can control the crowds going to the Trafford. And those are the sorts of people that make the scarf. Those are the sorts of people that are getting onto the scarf. This is the PTP show. It is Friday. It is the long lunch. What is the hashtag today? MKT is an a-hole? Oh no, MKT is AWOL. Sorry if I read that wrong.
AWOL. Oh, you say, I
sorry, I did not see
wrong.
that.
You're not wrong though.
I just saw MKT is AWOL, is an a-hole, whichever you want to put. put it up there. He's down in Cape Town. He's doing real sports things with real sportsmen. We're just sitting here and judging sportsmen while we contemplate going up a pant size. Pretty normal Friday stuff. So we're going to be talking some football, what's happening in the Premier League, maybe other leagues around Europe. Senzo is very worried about United playing Leicester. James is very worried about Liverpool playing Watford. He sees Claudio Ranieri bounce. Is it going to take Watford above the Reds? What's going to happen this weekend? We got more of that. And Flip is somewhere. Flip is probably 30 minutes away from us, but he's never felt closer. This is the P2P show. Hashtag MKT is AWOL. Off air, we're lining up Flip. He's out in France. James, his best friend. James claims he's Flip's best friend. I saw it. I saw there was definitely a bromance between them. Flip can't wait. He says it's party time. Get the beers in for the boys. It frightens me to think how many beers Flip could drink. Senzo, how many? Dozen before he's stops being thirsty.
Before he stops being thirsty. It doesn't just to sit. Because how many can you drink?
You know what? I used to drink a lot more. I'm probably these days on 3.
And then you start feeling a bit...
You know what? I'm not even going nice anymore. I drink 3 beers, then I feel terrible. It's a sad state of affairs.
I can guarantee you it's probably like, for real, it's probably like 10 or 12. For real.
Flip?
I think so as well.
Yeah.
I think so as well.
But 10 or 12 to what?
To start feeling anything.
Yeah, to start feeling like,
there's a lot of
bottom.
like muscle and body mass to get through there, you know?
Brandy? That's why the boys on the brandy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot quicker. It's probably like 1 or 2 brandies, but when it's beer, it's like 10
so.
or 12.
I've seen guys who do that. I've seen guys who'll sit like just pound beer after beer after beer after beer and no effect on them. No effect.
Beer is the... not going to finish that sentence.
The mind boggles. Listen, Marcus Rojo, maybe the dude's drunk. Who knows? The last you saw Marcus Rojo, he was being pathetic for Manchester United. Part-time Premier League player. Goes off to Boca Juniors, the club of his dreams. Second time we're talking a Boca Juniors player today. Marcus Rojo is doing all the things in South America. 2 weeks ago in the Super Classico, he gets sent off. 2 red cards in what was it, 5 minutes? 2 red cards.
Yeah.
2 red cards.
2
2
yellow
yellow
cards.
cards and a red. Very quickly in the Super Classico against River Plate. This week they go off to play the Copa Libertadores against Atletico Mineiro. Diego Costa and Hulk's team in Brazil, and it was the last 16. Controversial game. It's always controversial when Boca are involved.
Yeah.
Penalty shootout. Boca had a goal disallowed, and they get knocked out. Boca players aren't happy with it as they upset. The Atletico Mineiro, some club official, starts taunting them from the change room. All goddamn hell breaks loose. I want to describe some things. We have a lot of players, mostly bare-chested, lots of them in Adilette flip-flops. Probably the least threatening footwear I can imagine. If a man wants to fight me and he's wearing Adilette flip-flops, I'm not scared. James?
Paolo, you're forgetting about Crocs, though.
Ah, yes. Okay.
So you're second least threatening, though, for
Second least threatening footwear. But anyway, you know how you make Adilette flip-flops more threatening? You pull out a water cooler and throw it at a man.
Honestly, like, what
As
the
a
hell?
grown man, you lift. I'm not joking. I'm not lying. Just look up Boca Juniors, Libertadores, Atletico Mineiro. I'm not going to tell you how to spell that. Figure it out yourself. A man picks up a water cooler and throws it at another man.
Like, it's...
Security fences got thrown around.
Yeah, but it's no holds barred. Anything goes. You know, WWE would be proud because they're...
Oh, well, I haven't even got to the fun part. This is why Paulu's weird world of football is so easy.
Yes.
Because this stuff just happens. Marcus Rojo, the Rojo, means red.
Yeah.
So what does he look for? The reddest thing he can find. The fight would have escalated
Imagine getting hit with a fire extinguisher.
while Marcus Rojo was removing a fire extinguisher from the wall. He wanted to throw a fire extinguisher at a man.
Holy hell.
He wanted to throw a fire extinguisher at another grown man. He is a millionaire. He is a millionaire.
A comfortable
person.
millionaire. A comfortable one.
He's a millionaire person, and he's throwing fire extinguishers.
And then you can take the man out the hood, but you can't take the hood out the man.
James, account for this behavior.
Do you know what my thing is, right? Do you know how angry you have to be to hit someone with a fire extinguisher? Because those things are heavy. You're not just
And they mounted.
Exactly. You're not just going to take it off the wall if you're like slightly irritated. Like you want to cause some real damage. So
How can you get so angry, okay, that you want to remove a fire extinguisher and put it on another person's body who's not on fire? Now, as you heard earlier, right? Atletico Mineiro just so happened to have a player called Hulk. Thank God he didn't Hulk out.
But do you know why he's called Hulk? Do you know his nickname is called
Well, tell I know, but tell everyone else.
Well, because when he played in Japan, he was so much bigger than his other teammates and his other players, and the team used to wear green. So
That's
they
it.
just used to call him Hulk.
But that man is beast
He's
mode.
massive.
Hulk is beast mode. Like, honestly,
Does he still shoot from wherever?
from wherever. No, he is he is beast mode, that man. I think probably one of the most underrated strikers. He never cracked it huge.
Properly, yeah. What do you think the problem was there?
I don't think people knew what to do with him, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I also feel get the same thing, yeah.
You know, he was, even though he was big and strong, he wasn't a number 9 and he wasn't crazy quick. Listen, he had a nice career with Porto. but never really had that crazy breakthrough in Europe. But just to finish off the story, so there's Hulk sitting politely in the change room. None of the Atletico Mineiro players got involved. Like I said earlier, Diego Costa plays for Atletico Mineiro. He wasn't there, thank God. Can you imagine the scenes? If Diego Costa goes, you know what? Enough of this. I'm getting involved.
Can you imagine?
Fire extinguishers at everyone. Oh. South American football, guys.
Where was Carlos Tevez during that whole thing? Because you remember the Champions League final with Chelsea United?
Right.
When Drogba gets a red card? Do you know what starts the whole thing? Carlos Tevez.
But he was always. He was.
Do you know Carlos Tevez did? Because he kicked the ball away to waste time. And then Drogba sits. Oh, John Terry came and he said something to him. And Tevez like, shove off, man, or whatever, right? And then Drogba got involved. Then Drogba tried to slap Vidic. Then Vidic went nuts. Actually, that's a good one. Who's winning? Vidic, Drogba in a fight?
Vidic all day long. Vidic all day long. The man is granite. Vidic all day long.
And he's from the Eastern Bloc, bro.
Man, I saw Drogba, as big as he was, go down so many times, and I understand it's football and what he was trying to do. But Vidic never went down. I saw how many times didn't see Vidic's head smashed open. And he just carried on running around. Just carried on running.
Who do you guys think would win in a fight between New Age Samer Nasri and Vidic?
And who Vidic?
Yeah.
Are we talking about Samer Nasri from the pictures we saw this week?
Yes.
Okay, now listen here. This is a sports show, and like all good sports shows, we are not blessed with athletic physiques. Okay, so we are not ones to make fun of overweight sportsmen. However, when that sportsman is a little weasel like Samer Nasri, it is open cards.
Also, look, he's been retired for 3 months.
I was going to ask you that
only.
question. I was going to ask you that. That's a lot of... He's either been waiting for that and just totally binge, because you sometimes do see that with footballers. When they initially retire, they do put on weight because now they're just going free for all, and then you'll see them, they'll get fit again. So it does there is that pattern.
Have you noticed, like, speaking of like footballers letting themselves go, right, and Hulk and Brazilian players, I think Brazil now, what they're trying to do is they're trying to search for another Ronaldo, like a phenomenon, and that guy physique, everything, like he could do everything. I don't think we'll ever see a striker like that ever again.
The conversation around Ronaldo keeps coming up about probably the greatest ever striker. And when you look at all today's leading strikers, he was the hero. All of them. They all loved the way he played because he was so different and so new. And you're right, you're never going to see a player like that because he was just so... That's a generation.
He was complete.
It's the generational player. Absolute generational.
Like, I don't know, because like... Who do you think is the closest thing we have to him now? You don't even know.
No, you don't know. Listen, in style of play, Mbappe is very similar. There's a lot of crossover between the two of them.
But Mbappe doesn't have like the physique, like...
No, and Ronaldo had that little move where he just made a goalkeeper sit down.
Yeah.
You knew he was going to do it. The amounts of times he just sat down a goalkeeper was just phenomenal. So in James's question, who wins between Samer Nasri and Vidic?
Vidic.
I mean, is that even a fight? Although, listen, I watched a world heavyweight title bout last week, and there was a time where heavyweight boxers looked like athletes. Now they just look like athletes. Those guys are enjoying the good life as well.
Diego Costa against Zlatan.
Oh, you always got to look who Zlatan picks on, because he goes after certain people, right?
Yeah.
Zlatan will take on anyone in a clean fight, because he's a classically trained fighter. There's that thing of like going like martial artists, and I wouldn't even try to take on a martial artist versus just a street fighter. Or, like, I think Diego Costa is a
scrappy.
Diego Costa, that guy's fought for food or fought to stay alive, and that's very different. Zlatan, I can't imagine
fights
that
for sport, yeah.
Right, yeah, and there's the difference. There's the difference.
In a fight, Roy Keane or Steven Gerrard?
Oh,
Roy Keane.
James, do you want to answer? Even James is Roy Keane.
Roy Keane.
Even Roy Keane today fighting young Steven Gerrard.
Yeah.
Steven Gerrard against John Terry in a fight.
John Terry. No, Steven Gerrard. I think
Steven Gerrard.
Yeah.
I think Steven Gerrard.
I think Steven Gerrard has a nasty side, Jim, that not a lot of people
No,
see.
not do you think he has a nasty
He never
side.
lets it slip.
Okay, so should we get to the fixtures for this weekend?
And you know what? To be honest with you, current day Roy Keane, I think beats everyone.
Yes.
Yes, it's such an angry.
He is old man hard. You know, Roy Keane is old guy hard. You get that old man hard. So Premier League is back. Thank God. Listen, I like international football. It is good games, but there's not a lot of games and it doesn't keep you entertained. James is pumping fists. Look at him. And
Do you know how boring weekends are without football?
Guys, it's terrible. Eh?
It's
you don't
so
know,
bad,
You don't know what to
dude.
do. You can't structure a weekend because you're like, what am I going to do this weekend?
Exactly. It's the same thing that, only when you get a TV in your house do you know where to put your furniture.
Yeah.
It's like only when there's football fixtures can you plan your weekend.
And it's bizarre to me how some people don't see how we live our lives. Like my mom, when I used to live with her, my stepdad and my two brothers and myself, everything revolved around football. When's the football on? What are we doing this weekend? When can we watch? And my mom never could understand why we would plan our entire weekends around watching guys kick a ball for 90 minutes.
Guys, do you know how upset women get on Twitter when English Premier League is on? They're like, oh God, it's back. We've lost our boyfriends and our spouses. Because I remember when my girlfriend was here, when she was in the country, we're like, every weekend I'd be like, okay, there are two things that need to happen. There's one thing that needs to happen. I need to watch Man United play. I don't care what happens around that. We can do whatever you want around that. But those 2 hours, you must understand that I won't be there, but I won't be like.
Yeah. So it's either we got to have left. We need to have arrived. I need to have data so I can watch it. Whatever is happening, I'm watching it, and it's so true because you go, oh, what are your plans for the weekend? Oh, or can you come? We're going to do this. We're going to do that. It's like United playing 4. Oh, I'm good till 3:30. Otherwise, I need to be by TV. That's that's why it's so infuriating when your team lose.
Have you ever tried to watch football with your spouse and you're not at a mate's house where there are other girls, or you're at a bar? No. You're at a bar with her. I blank her and she knows, she just sits on her phone and then halftime comes, then I kind of talk to her about stuff.
But there's no false pretenses, right? She understands that you've gone to the bar to watch football.
Yeah, she knows.
I say this crazy thing. Manchester United have been in my life longer than my wife and my daughter. And my wife and I started dating when we were 16. The Manchester United has been in my life longer. This is why people can't get into these things. It's like your team is with you longer than your family. That is such a bonkers thing. And that's why it sucks so much when they lose, because you planned your whole weekend around it. These are the fixtures. Watford, Liverpool, Claudio Ranieri's first game with Watford. How long are we giving Claudio Ranieri? Till the end of the season?
I know, until March.
Till March. You won't even see out till the end of the season.
Until March. You know those Watford owners, they're very volatile, eh?
Because they'll prepare for wherever they are. So if they're going down, no Ranieri, we need someone who can handle the championship.
Yeah.
Hey, it's their business model. It works. It obviously works for them.
They're the John McCosmos of English football.
Listen, what I loved seeing the other day, there was a sort of a sweeping shot of the Watford stadium, and you saw the Sir Elton John stand. I'll never get tired of seeing that.
my question is now, Paulo, my question is, okay, you see that Watford Liverpool fixture? Can you see the time of it? Would you like to play that fixture if you were English?
You know what? It's also pretty difficult because it's after an international weekend. So you got players coming back from Africa
on a Wednesday or something.
So we see, Salah, Mane, they're both coming back. You've got the South American players, okay, they can't play. And then you got a whole load of English players who would have played, during the week with no training. There's no way Liverpool have trained. Maybe there's a session today, but not even, because they're traveling to the game. So I feel for teams when they're in that situation, except when they're Liverpool. Then I just laugh. Yeah. I just laugh heartily. Ha!
Because when Rooney says that's the worst fixture to play,
that time,
that the first one, half.
Because can you imagine when you wake, you're not sleeping because obviously you got an early wake up. What are you eating?
Yeah, because you can't go smash your pasta.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
So it's actually interesting that you asked that question.
Because James is doing elite level athlete training now.
True. Yeah, definitely. So I don't know who it was. I think it might have actually been Wayne Rooney, but he came out and he said on I think it was Twitter a couple of years ago, how hard it is to eat pasta at 9 o'clock in the morning before a game.
So do they still have to do that?
Yeah. And then a whole bunch of people attacked him and were like, yeah, you earn hundreds of thousands a
You
week.
earn like
while you're
300,000
complaining,
pounds.
blah, 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 blah.
Yeah,
Shut
but
up.
his stomach's just like yours. I mean, it doesn't.
Yeah.
Imagine eating pasta, like a full, like
No, but you have to
Alfredo
though.
at 9 in the morning.
No,
But
but
I
the
can't
thing-
believe there's not something else. Like, what about, I mean, if you run a marathon and your marathon time is 6 o'clock in the morning, you're not eating pasta.
No,
then.
you're eating pasta the night before,
eating
though.
pasta the night before, but same thing.
Yeah.
Oh, if only we knew. If only we knew
But
how
like,
to get
what
hold of
time?
people to
My
explain.
thing is about that, Paulo. Like, you know, especially like if you're the away team, like if you're the away team, and like, you know, it's not Liverpool's not next to London. Like, let's not get
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
so
I mean, it's a good, what, 3
4 hours.
3 or 4 hours,
yeah. So like, they
Well, they would have
definitely-
stayed. They would have stayed the night.
Yeah, they would have stayed the night. But like, how do you prep for that thing?
No, there's no prep. There's no prep. That's why it's so hard. But I mean, what's the trade-off? Because the Premier League is trying to help the Champions League teams by having their games on Saturday.
Yeah.
But the only way they can do it on Saturday after an international weekend is put it so early.
Yeah, because now,
So
I mean, do you know which fixture is actually Norwich Brighton? Go first.
just before you move on, right?
Norwich Brighton, let's go play the 1:30.
Oh, but it's TV, man. I mean, it's that's just Blockbuster.
Yeah,
You-
that's true. Because
you-
now, no
if
one's
you're
going to
doing-
tune in. Wow, first Premier League game after international break.
Yeah.
Norwich Brighton.
You
Get
know.
the hell out of here.
That's it. Before you move on from Wayne Rooney, huge documentary.
Oh,
Wayne
yes.
Rooney coming on Amazon Prime in January. Very revealing.
Yeah.
So many controversies with Wayne Rooney. Oh, he's currently manager of Derby, and Mike Ashley, Derby having a lot of huge problems, on the brink of folding, and Mike Ashley being linked with buying them.
Yeah. Here's something.
Not the billionaire owner you want, but the billionaire owner you deserve.
Yeah,
comes
but
to mind.
It's crazy though.
Norwich Brighton, that is not a game I'll be watching. No matter how good Brighton are, Norwich just suck the life out of the place. Senzo, what do you think about the comment just at the start of the international break of the Premier League needs to ditch teams, drop down to 18 because teams like Norwich don't deserve their place?
Nah. I think it's fine the way it is. Like,
Look at it from this point of view, right? Everyone complains about too many matches. Not going to happen. Premier League would add two more teams if they could, right?
yeah.
So they're not going to drop it down. But when you look at a team like Norwich are just going to come up and they're going to go down. This seems to be what they want to do.
Yeah.
Watford are following the same pattern. There are 5 or 6 teams doing that. All they do is stink the place up for a full season. They don't, and I'm not saying try by spending a lot of money, but Norwich are down. Norwich are down before they started. What value do they add? I remember Middlesbrough were going through the same sort of thing. They don't contribute. Should they? Should we care what Norwich are doing?
no.
Easy 6 points.
No, that's what you think because like
Yeah.
you remember that season, like Norwich are one of those teams, so they'll definitely need to they'll definitely they'll take points from you when you need them the most.
Yeah.
They'll take. You remember
When they need them. and
Yeah,
you need them.
remember that game? It was United Blackburn when we lost the league on goal difference. New Year's Eve, we lost to them at Old Trafford. Blackburn did not need those 3 points because they got relegated. We needed them more, and I was so irritated. I was like, do you know that is the game that lost us the league?
That was when we played West Ham in the last day, right? Which season?
We
is-
played Sunderland last day.
Right. Okay. Right. That year. So Norwich are there just to ruin Manchester United fans' lives. Let's just talk quickly about Manchester United. I moved on from it yesterday, but let's tap into it. You're worried about Manchester United's fixture list. I think everybody else is as well, because I think we go on a run of Leicester. We got Atalanta.
let me-
While you look it up,
Let me
Ryan.
look it up for you. Yeah, here it is.
Ryan's got some abuse. I feel what he's going to say is very abusive because the two of them are in there with fat smiles on their faces.
They're going to talk about Man United.
This is
because
gonna
they
get
got
very
small clubs.
aggressive.
I think you're going to struggle. I think United's going to struggle with this one.
Leicester?
I think
Of course,
so.
you think United
I'm
struggles all the
telling
time.
you.
Ugh. Don't listen to this guy. I've blocked him off. Listen,
No. The thing is, Vardy is still killing. And I just don't think United are in a place to take Leicester.
You guys act like
easily.
Ronaldo doesn't score even when we're playing rubbish. I like how you guys just dismiss Ronaldo, but anyway, the fixture list.
I just want to say something. You know that if Vardy scores, he's doing Ronaldo celebration.
Absolutely.
Of course he is.
Also,
Everyone-
guys, can we stop doing the whole Ronaldo thing?
Yeah,
There's
well,
11
that's-
players on the field.
That's the thing. Senzo, come.
No, because
It's Ronaldo.
while that is Solskjaer's tactics, Ronaldo. That'll be because that's in guys today. Ronaldo, Ronaldo, Fergie, 99, Keane, Club, lads,
Ronaldo.
Ronaldo, Rashi, shrug shoulders.
But listen to this fixture list. Like, it's actually quite serious. Like, you guys laugh. Tomorrow we've got Leicester, right? Wednesday, the 20th of October, Atlanta. Sunday, the 24th of October, Liverpool. The 30th of October, Tottenham. The 2nd of November, Atlanta again. The 6th of November, Man City.
That sounds terrible. Sucks to be you guys.
Like,
But how many times haven't we seen it when Solskjaer's under pressure with a terrible run of games? Those aren't the games he battles with.
yeah, it's...
If you go look historically, he doesn't battle with those games. He pulls out results. He battles. And you know what I think it is? I'll tell you what it is. What I think it is. And I've said it before as a joke. If you weren't a threat to Manchester United when he was a player and when United were dominating, he doesn't respect you.
So he's not going to respect Leicester.
Maybe not. But that's how I feel it is. It's like when there's a big team that he feels is of Manchester United's attention, he will pay attention. When it's the Burnleys and the Norwich and the Fulhams
And the
and
Villas.
Villarreals, don't worry about them. They're small teams. You know, he's so stuck in the past. So I actually think we can be okay. So you're right. Maybe Leicester, maybe Atalanta.
Can I just ask, what do you think the score is going to be if Senzo's this like confident about it? I just want to know.
I didn't say I'm confident.
Like what?
Whoa! I didn't say I'm
What
confident.
base are we going to say?
You guys, the problem is you guys like to misquote me, and you guys,
Fake news.
These guys are fake news merchants. I didn't say I'm confident. If we win tomorrow, it will be by like, it will be an ugly 2-1.
If
Jesse
you
Lingard.
if you lose, is it still going to be another 2 weeks
No, it's
before you
gonna
get
be
WhatsApp?
No, it's 3-1. If we
In joke there, Senzo claims he lost his phone, but there's a belief behind that glass window over there that
No,
he's
but
just
Ever
hiding.
since Young Boys, the phone has never made a reappearance.
Ryan, you only got here yesterday. Like, how would you know? Look, guys. Or do you know tomorrow? Actually, I'm putting my neck out. 3-0 United.
Whoa.
That is hella confident right there.
Is Rashford playing tomorrow?
Rashi.
Yeah, he is playing.
No, it
don't know
doesn't matter if he's playing. You guys have Ronaldo, remember?
I don't know if Rashford
No, but
is playing.
Rashford's got a great record against Leicester.
This is the kind of nonsense stats we get. This morning I hear Rashford's put on 4 kilograms in his
Oh,
lower body.
muscle. Yeah, like what?
What the hell are you quantifying? How do you measure that?
Do not fixture list is also guys. Brentford Chelsea. What do you think's happening there actually?
Ryan, can I bring you in? Brentford, Chelsea. We saw Brentford a few weeks ago at home. Chelsea give Liverpool. They went Liverpool 3-all, toe to toe.
They took Arsenal as well.
They took Arsenal. They went toe to toe with Liverpool, not frightened. What are they doing at Chelsea? Chelsea aren't as fun as Liverpool, so they'll probably suck the life out of the team. Got to be honest.
I don't know. I think our defense is pretty strong. So I'm quite confident we can win.
No Thiago Silva.
I'm not worried about Thiago Silva.
Okay.
I'm not. I do think Chelsea's going to take it tomorrow confidently. I just don't know which squad Tuchel's going to put out because he's been changing the squad quite rapidly over the last couple of games. I don't know if you've...
Who are you playing in the
noticed.
Champions League?
Sorry?
Who are you playing in the Champions League? Are you playing Juventus yet?
Nah, they lost to Juve.
Oh, they lost to Juventus. Oh no, it's not
I don't know.
it's not time for
Yeah.
the second round yet. Yeah,
So whoever you played this week,
it's played back to back.
it's back to back.
Yeah.
You know, Southampton Leeds could be a 4-4 draw, or it could be a 4-3.
Yeah, you know what? That's either going to be 0-0 or 4-4. You're 100% right. Those are such inconsistent, wild, crazy teams. If they just open up and go at it, what do you think of the stories that Bielsa's under a little bit of pressure?
Well, he spent a bit of money, so think about his net spend and stuff like that. Because, like, you know, if you're Leeds now, you know you've had a great season, and like Bielsa's been with that team for a while.
Yeah.
He's been with that team for a while. So like,
But he's built. I mean, Leeds were a basket case of club. New owners, new manager, misses promotion once, then gets in promotion, has a great season last season, looking to consolidate again this season. Why is the man under pressure?
I think he must be looking at top 7. Eh?
You think so?
I think Leeds won top 7.
You think they could sack Bielsa? Would Leeds sack Bielsa if he
It
doesn't get
wouldn't
it?
be weird. They sacked
Listen,
him.
football is bonkers these days.
It's like the Watford manager. Like, I don't know why he lost his job.
I know. Who else is going to do any different?
Like,
I mean, really. But, you know, I think what they do is they calculate in the new manager bounce because, you know, a new coach comes in, you win, you get 4 or 5 good results, and they reckon if they do that 3 or 4 times a season, it's 12 points at a time, so probably worth it.
yeah. Do you know? It's like, who do you think's got the most job security in the Premiership?
Solskjaer has
Even more than Guardiola.
Solskjaer has got more security than Guardiola and Klopp. Because Solskjaer sells the brand. He's a club man. He's never going to talk bad about the guys up front. He's never going to complain. He's going to play okay football. Manchester United have become a nostalgia Disneyland.
Yeah.
Okay? Anything that links him to the past. So, of anybody, I think Solskjaer, I would dare say, in a bizarro world, Solskjaer could even get United relegated. And he would probably hold on to his job. If Solskjaer did not lose his job last season, getting knocked out of the Champions League in group stage, getting beaten 6-1 by Tottenham, with Pochettino floating around, Solskjaer doesn't lose his job.
My other question is that, okay, cool. Do you know who else I've never seen, never thought to have been under pressure? Jurgen Klopp.
No, he's safe. But you know,
he's never been under pressure. Guardiola's been under pressure. You know when he doesn't win Champions League,
well, because the standards are high.
Yeah.
Standards are high.
But Klopp never. Thomas Tuchel is 3 games away from getting a sacking. He could have a great run.
But that's him. He's fallen out everywhere.
Yeah, but besides that, Roman's not an easy guy to work for.
Yeah, and listen, that's inevitably going to happen because he does fall out with the hierarchy.
Yeah.
He's happy for now. He's maybe he'll put a curse on Chelsea this time. Maybe he'll Bella Goodman them. And then listen, let's spare a thought. We spoke about it yesterday. Newcastle, Tottenham. Steve Bruce is allowed to go to the game and coach his own team. Thank God. That's actually going to be quite ugly. I think he's going to get bullets. And then...
Oh, if I just hope for his sake that Newcastle... I hope they win, actually. I hope they win. Because if they don't win and they get the brakes beaten off them, you know it. They'll sack Steve Bruce on that day.
Richest team in the world, second bottom in the Premier League, and spare a thought to anybody who has to care about Arsenal Crystal Palace at 9 o'clock on Monday night. Spare a thought.
Jokes.
For all of them.
Jokes.
Anybody who got tossed that.
Vieira.
Oh, right.
It's all
Narrative. Oh, shame. This is the PTP show. It is Friday. It's the long lunch. Are you drunk? If you are, then maybe the show has just got 10% more enjoyable. Flip is coming up. We're going to ask him how many beers he needs to drink before he starts getting a buzz. The boys think it's 12. We're lightweights compared to Flip.
Literally and figuratively.
All of them. This is PTP show. We're halfway through, half time. We're going to go have our orange pieces. Hopefully come back for a good second half. They call it Friday, they call it the long lunch. I say there's no lunch. Don't even excuse yourself. Just, it's Friday, it's hot. It's a 4-day week. South Africa works a 4-day week. Most nations. I know France work 3-day weeks.
What?
We'll confirm it. We'll confirm it with Flip. He's on the line, I believe. Is he ready to bring him in? I want to ask Flip as well what he thinks about this week. Everyone's going to space. Everyone's going to space these days. William Shatner, Captain Kirk, original Star Trek, oldest man in space. What the hell? There he is. Flip van der Merwe. We love it. Flip, tell us, true or false, do the French work 3-day weeks?
Good afternoon, ladies. I doubt they even work 3 days a week. We are around work 3 days a week, but we don't necessarily work that much.
That's what I'm saying. Any
How are you
interaction
guys doing?
I have.
What is news?
Listen, it is all news here. We're just having a quick chat about William Shatner going to space.
Captain Kirk.
Captain Kirk goes to space, 90 years old in space.
Wait, hold on. William Shatner's that old?
He's 90 years old, oldest man in space.
Really? Wasn't that guy on Rescue 911 as well?
Are we going to
He was-
stay there now this time?
Do you remember that, Flip? Rescue 911?
I remember Rescue. Was he the voice of Rescue 911?
He was the guy.
He was the host.
William Shatner's Star Trek. He was on Rescue 911 with a TV show from the 90s.
Yeah, but like extreme, like bizarre.
911 cases.
Yeah, 911 cases. Like I stopped watching Rescue 911 when the one kid swallowed a needle and that, yeah, they had to have a tracheostomy, whatever you call.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Have
never
you ever
enjoyed
guys
William.
thought if they had to add a rescue 911 in South Africa?
Do you think that's your?
Well, it'd just be 2 hours of the phone ringing.
Yeah, honestly, yeah.
They would
Yeah.
never answer the call.
Yeah.
You want to watch Rescue?
Hello,
you wanna
someone's
watch,
shooting at us. Yeah, maybe go
you want to
hide.
watch Rescue 911 for real?
It's not our department.
A friend of mine who was doing their residency at Barra, he says, you want to see Rescue 911 for real? You must go into like the casualty ward after a Soweto derby.
Yeah.
Like it gets real.
So-
he says that's the worst weekend to work.
For international, they say it's even worse than New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
They say a derby game is even worse than
Yeah.
New Year's Eve for international viewers. Baragwanath is a massive hospital, just
Biggest hospital in Africa.
biggest hospital in Africa, just on the outskirts between sort of Johannesburg and Soweto. Yeah. It is doctors from around the world actually get sent to Barra because they've got the best trauma unit. It's the best place to get trauma training in the whole world, and make sure you're there on a derby weekend. Let's go into Soweto derby. Let's quick there. Flip, you ever been to any other Soweto derbies, Chiefs, Pirates?
I cannot say I have. I mean, I am a Sundowns man myself, so I haven't been to Soweto
well,
derby,
of
but
course
I've played in Orlando Stadium before.
Yes, you played the All Blacks, right?
That was an experience.
Oh no, you played the Stormers. You
Against
played
the All
Stormers.
Blacks. Against the All Blacks at Soccer City. What is the
Yeah.
Soccer City called these days? FNB
I think
Stadium.
it is still Soccer City.
FNB Stadium, like yeah.
That's cool. I want to talk about that. You know, Orlando Stadium is such an underrated, awesome stadium.
Yeah, but the history behind it
It's
as well,
brilliant.
like,
Yeah.
like the history behind it as well is also like it's like pretty because like that's Piratesland. That's
So,
Pirates.
so Senzo, just give an explanation on that, and then I want to talk to Flip just about the experience of playing for Springboks, and you would have played Stormers in Orlando
yeah.
Stadium. I'd like to talk to you about that. But Senzo, just give a bit of context of Orlando Stadium.
So Orlando Stadium is like Orlando Pirates like territory, like heartland. Like you wouldn't see a Chiefs.
Was there a previous stadium there?
There was a previous
Yeah.
stadium. It was the original,
original
like,
was there, yeah.
Orlando Stadium, and then they redid it, and they're now Pirates. Because you remember Pirates' games, they used to play their home games at Ellis Park.
Yeah, yeah.
And then after they redone that, they went back home, basically. So yeah,
It's an underrated, great stadium.
yeah, it's awesome.
And then, of course, Soccer City, where the 2010 World Cup final was held for international listeners. Flip, talk to us about playing at those stadiums. What's it like? Because now, obviously, you're normally playing. Listen, I imagine that the makeup was pretty usual Springbok or rugby fans, but what's it like playing in stadiums like that?
The first experience we had was 2010 when they constructed all the stadiums for the World Cup, and we couldn't actually play with the Bulls at the time. And we were playing Super Rugby, and obviously they shut all the stadiums to change to fix them up for the World Cup. And we were in a situation where we played the semi-final and the final at Orlando Stadium. So we actually had two experiences at the Orlando Stadium itself, which was amazing. I mean, the first one was against the Crusaders. We played there, and was like we paid school fees on the first one. We almost arrived late for warm up because we just didn't account the chaos that rugby would bring into how excited the people were to see rugby at the place. I think that was the outside 95. This is a big call. Outside 95 is probably the most unifying sentiments I had in my body. Like the Crusaders one was quite different because it was an evening match, and everything was a bit in a rush. The people didn't plan enough to get to the stadium, so we played most of the first half in a half an empty stadium. It was actually quite interesting, and then the final, obviously good to smash the Crusaders also, because outside of it being at altitude, the Chesenyama was pumping in Orlando that evening.
Yeah, because do you know what they probably did for you guys there? Do you know what they probably did for you? No lie, they probably left Muti for you guys. They probably left Muti. They said, "Listen here."
I'm pretty sure. They probably burned some tires outside as well. Those pure New Zealand lungs, they didn't appreciate the last 20 minutes. Those guys were done. and then the same repeated, obviously, for the final the week after. Everyone planned a little better. They realized they could take the Gautrain. A lot of people took the Gautrain. How did it work? Do you take the Gautrain up into Soweto?
So you take the Gautrain because remember what they were doing for like 2010, because they were like park and ride situations. So you'd take the Gautrain, and then you'd leave your car, and then they actually specifically did it for like the Super Rugby finals, and then there would be like buses that would take you there.
Like Centurion or something. I can't remember.
Yeah. So like they do that for you because white people in Soweto, you guys wouldn't be able to drive in Soweto because like you guys can barely drive in the CBD.
That was the best thing. So coming in on the bus, it was the people having braais. Like there's like on the backside of this Orlando Stadium, there's people living like houses. Well, obviously people living, but like houses, like proper houses. Yeah, and the gardens were open. People having barbecues and like arms in arms and having barbecues, and it was amazing. Awesome. It was really amazing. And then obviously the noise in the stadium was out of this world.
Proper tailgate. So Flip, talk to me about this, right? So playing in Soweto and stuff like that. Some like international teams, especially football teams, they were complaining about the noise of the vuvuzela. Does that sound bother you, or do you just drown it out, or you don't hear anything when you're playing?
It's pretty amazing. Well, obviously rugby is a little bit different than you need to communicate a lot. There was finals rugby, so we were so into each other's lives by then that we were proper synchronized, like a group of teenage girls. But we exactly knew what we were doing. So it sort of worked. The vuvuzelas, but I mean you couldn't hear the guy next to you, like in the line-out calls and stuff. It was a stuff up there.
Yeah.
One of the funniest memories of the finals, we actually had friends going over to watch the final, and he blew too much on the vuvuzela, like he had lips swollen for a week afterwards.
Yeah. But that chaos. Injuries. That chaos, So talk me through something, because you said something very interesting about people not planning to get to the stadium properly. And the thing is, I know of 2 fixtures in this country where if you don't plan your day properly and arriving at the stadium when you're supposed to arrive, it's the Soweto Derby Chiefs Pirates, and anytime the Springboks play at Ellis Park. If you don't get your timing right, forget about it. You're going to miss the game. So talk to me about that. From going to the hotel and getting to the stadium, how's the prep for that day?
It depends also for who you play. Obviously, if you play for the Springboks, you have the flying squad sorting business for you going down that highway, which is pretty awesome. You roll. It's bumper to bumper traffic, and you go probably around 140 k's on that bus with police all around you. So if nothing gets the adrenaline going, that's
you're a national asset. You have to. I mean, come on.
Only national assets or criminals. That's the only time you get their treatment.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh no, yeah. Well, I want to say politicians, but you hit the nail on the head.
Well, just to call up on the previous comment about teenage girls, it's at Flip van der Merwe on Twitter. Don't at me or Senzo.
Yeah.
Don't you at me.
Don't at me. BCCS complaints are not valid.
We don't get that anymore, though, do we?
No. Nobody takes it seriously. But even as a fan, Senzo, what you're saying is the culture of sports supporters in South Africa. We've got no culture of arriving at games early. It's Flip's seen it as a player, but as a supporter, if you need to get to Soccer City, Orlando Stadium, Ellis Park at night, forget it. You either have to get to the stadium 3:00, or forget it. You're not getting in. The amount of games I've been on the way to a game, and I'm never getting in before the game starts.
Yeah, because you get there.
We got no culture of getting to games early.
No, do you know what it is? It's the pre-drinking.
Well, okay, so we've got a culture of pre-drinking.
It's the pre-drinking, and by the time I remember, I went to go watch. Should I go watch? I went to go watch it was a Currie Cup game, and it was Sharks against Lions, because that's the only time that Ellis Park is full, when the Sharks come to town.
Yeah.
Half the Joburg supports the Sharks.
Yeah.
Half of Joburg supports the Sharks, and we got to the game, midway through the first half. I mean, sorry, there were like 10 minutes left in the first half. I was like, guys, we got there pretty drunk and stuff. I remember Oaks were like getting off the bus we'd hired, and we're like, guys, we're walking to the stadium. I'm like, guys, we're in the middle of Joburg CBD. If they see, okay, I might be fine, but you guys are white guys. And if they see you guys, they'll be like, guys, pony up everything. So I was just like, yeah, but it's
But
bad.
do you think it's just Joburg? Because I used to go to the old Kings Park, and actually that was different.
Yeah.
Everyone, like, you had your tailgating, and then, but everyone was seated by the time the game
No,
started.
but it also happens at Loftus. Like at Loftus, like
Right.
people tailgate, but by the time the game starts, everybody's sat there.
Yeah.
Like Ellis Park, people
Everyone's in
don't
there.
care.
That's
Like,
just-
But that was big back in the day when you could drink in the stadium. You should not forget what that difference has made. Because now you can't get your beer anymore and sit in the stadium and drink.
Do you feel as players, so I want to ask you that, is that, does it make it, obviously it makes a difference to the support, because obviously the support of sober supporters is very polite, and of drunk supporters is obviously a lot better.
Hey, but do you know what used to happen at Loftus? After a couple
Oh,
of
listen,
brandy
we all
and
know
coke-
the little pup sucks are making their way in. What are
Yeah.
those little tot packs? They were making their way in.
Yeah, at Loftus, yeah.
Yeah, but no, you know, the problem was actually Kings Park. That's where they punched a British guy or something.
Really?
It's like
deserved
some, yes.
Speaking of all this, speaking of British guys, we were in Durban for the British and Irish Lions, the 2009 game where they're in Durban. Apparently, all the British guys finished all the beer in Durban. They went through it all. You couldn't
That's what
get
you
beer
do.
anyway. They went through it, and we're just like, what is going on? Like, yeah, those guys are they're a lot.
They're professional drinkers.
They're a
It,
lot.
it brings us on Flip. When James checked in with you, you said, cool, waiting, party time, get the beers on. Great suggestion. We were just wondering, though, how many beers can you put away before you start feeling... I mean, you're an elite athlete. How many beers before you start feeling like,
I do
hey,
hope my mom's not listening. 'Cause
so none. So Flip van der Merwe does not drink.
I've never
he-
drank a beer in my life.
Yeah.
No, I can drink a couple of beers, which it's not good. I actually could drink more beer when I play rugby than I can do these days. I feel like I'm getting old.
What?
Yeah, because you're fit and you're young and you're keen, and now you just like you drink a beer to just calm down. But I can do probably, if it depends on a good day drink, I could probably put 20 away. Yeah, I reckon.
Wow, we had 12. We had 12 pegged.
20.
That is good.
My guess.
James is so impressed, Flip. You know, he's
Almost a case by yourself. No, yeah, you're serious.
My guess was.
No, I mean that is
10 to
our
12.
budget. Yeah, well, I mean that's for lunch. If you're speaking about lunch, yeah.
Flip, remind me never to take you out for beers.
but it makes us think we
I'm
need.
well behaved.
I don't know if we need a sort of on a Friday. We need like a beer brand to do product placement on this. I mean, Mac G he's drinking beer all through his show.
Yeah, but we're a sports show. We can't really,
We're a sports entertainment show,
show.
and drinking makes sports very entertaining.
Yeah, but there's Mac G can do
I
show
tell you,
from outside.
but you guys
Yeah,
are
sorry.
speaking about supporters. I think that whoever went on to the strategy that no more beer should be allowed in stadiums did not think about which country they are in.
Yeah, but
I
besides
mean,
that, Azil.
we looked
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
we looked during COVID, when they stopped alcohol, there were no more accidents, no one was having fun. South Africa, they stopped drinking allowed in rugby stadiums, no more supporters, like that, boom.
Yeah.
But like they also forgot who the
Everyone
main sponsors were of Castle Lager.
Yeah.
And they forgot, like, okay, now you can't drink. Like, okay, cool. What are people supposed to do in a stadium? Sit there and drink. It's not like you're going to a tennis match.
So we got a tweet here from not the Umbelelo. Umbelelo, last time I was at a stadium was in Orlando for a Pirates game midweek. The logistics was so cool considering that I was Ubering. Yeah, listen, sometimes you get it right. Sometimes you're lucky. It depends how big the game is.
Yeah,
I reckon
but
if you go to an average PSL game, not the Chiefs or Swallow or Sundowns, you're going to be okay.
Paulo, go to a derby match. A derby match
See,
pre-COVID.
I've never driven into a derby match myself.
can't-
We always arrange a
can't.
driver, a
You
car. We
can't.
go in a combi.
You can't drive to a derby game because, like, one, you're gonna have to park very far because have you seen the traffic outside? Like, it's ridiculous. Like, it's
I also feel it's like the locals know where you need to be.
Yeah.
You know, if you're coming in, it's not your hood, like you're done. for.
Exactly, because as well, like you also don't want to get to a situation where people like now the game started, and then you get a situation where it becomes a stampede because some of those, the way things run at a derby game, it's like a free for all.
No, it is.
They say tickets are sold out, but they're actually not sold out. You can go there and then you chat to somebody, and then it's
We
Get a little
went
ticket
to,
beforehand. Yeah.
No, exactly. We went to one, and one of the guys we went with was the first time he went, and he goes, "Oh, so where we're sitting? What's our ticket numbers?" Like, bro, we're sitting there. That's
yeah,
where,
bro.
that's where we're sitting.
You're gonna tell like the fanatics like, dog, you're in my seat. You're gonna be like, what are you doing?
No,
Where
we're
do you
gonna
think
sit
you
where
are?
we find space. That's where we're sitting.
And also, you don't want to sit like too close, like behind the Chiefs or the Pirates goal, because those guys are going to be standing the whole time. So you're going to tell 40, 50 guys, hey, please sit down. You know what I mean?
Since I want to ask you something, so Flip, this week was the first sports event that allowed fans in. Bafana playing Ethiopia. 2,000 fans were let in on condition, or were sold tickets on condition that they were vaccinated. I am very cynical because I very much doubt a midweek game, Bafana against Ethiopia, that they've ever sold 2,000 tickets.
Honestly.
There's no way that wasn't a renter crowd.
But did you see what they said about the derby that's coming up? They said that's going to be like even more people, provided you're vaxxed. So I don't know.
Good luck to that. Listen, I'm telling you now, there's no way that those were 2,000 sold tickets. Flip, I wanted to ask you something. We haven't spoken.
Who's going to govern that? Who's going to govern that?
No, good luck.
If there's 10,000 people going, who's going to tell them they're not allowed to go?
And we're having a problem with the vaccine certificates here, the digital vaccine certificate. Some people can get it, some can't, some it's showing. So there's problems with that. So there's no way those 2,000 people were legit. And Flip's quite right. Who governs it? We're in the best of times. That derby game is, hey, I know a guy, he's going to let me in.
Hey, listen, Flip, be glad it's not you governing it. It's not my...
Oh, Flip it sorted out.
Yeah, but he's got guns. He'd be like,
no, that's what I'm saying.
You sit here.
Yeah.
You sit here. You sit here.
And like people would have to come
I would
show
just
the...
let people...
That's it.
I would
Flip
trust
wants to
them,
see the needle in your arm.
Let the people play.
That's it.
No, definitely not a Soweto. That's a different type of music.
Yeah.
Flip, I want to ask you, has the story maybe come across you about the sports stadium, the 15 million rand sports stadium in Eastern Cape?
I have not, no. You'll be funny, but I've read and I've just before getting on with you guys and Madam and Eve cartoon about shout out to Rico, he's the funniest guy in the world, but the department of you can't make shit up actually exists. They spoke about and they spoke about the 50 million stadium, so I actually don't know what it is.
Okay, so Flip, you've been at a good level of sport your whole life, so I imagine with good infrastructure. So this 15 million rand stadium gets built in the Eastern Cape, quite rural part of the Eastern Cape.
James, do you have the photo for it?
James might find the photos. We might be able to pop it up for you. But a 15 million rand stadium with two, temporary grandstands.
It's like scaffolding.
There is no grass on. There's apparently rugby and soccer pitches there. There's nothing. It's just sand and dry grass. No discernible lines. The clubhouse has no electricity, water, and missing some doors. The sports track around it is supposed to be tarred, but it's not. It's grass. It's a disgusting state of affairs.
The only thing cool about that stadium is the view,
it's set in front of the mountains, very beautiful, but it's an insane story. 15 million rand, and it's the sort of stuff that only comes up.
Free State.
It's the sort of stuff that only comes up at election time. I know James is looking up for those stories. So I got some stories here I want to share with you guys. And Flip, this, you're going to love this one, right? So I'm going to read. It comes from The Guardian. High school soccer in America. Okay. A Michigan school is angry after an opposing player scores 16 goals in a game. So there is quite a hapless school in Michigan, high school team, and they get beaten 17-0. With one player, there we go, with one player scores 16 goals. The kid's name is Kevin Hubble. He scores 16 goals. He gets a complaint because he was bullying. They take it as a case of bullying the boys on the losing side. The school board member of the losing school said his son was goalkeeper for the game. We went over and hugged our boys. That's what was needed. Their hearts were bleeding. They've now gone to the higher sports body saying it was a cheap shot. They set out to do it and they did. It has no place in high school athletics. And moving forward from getting knocked on your face is a great life lesson. But our soccer program is a fledgling program, and we are our starting place for the kids to get in. But anyway, they're now trying to get this kid who scored the 16 goals banned, and they will no longer play against the school that scored the 17 goals in any sport. This is just snowflake gone mad.
They don't need hugs. They need to go train.
Right. I can just imagine the amount of Karens involved to get this happening. We as parents want to be able to tell our boys that not only did their parents and loved ones stand up for them, but the entire community did as well.
But like the thing is, like, do you know what the thing is? It's not a hand-holding competition. I'm there to beat the brakes off you. You know what I mean?
But guys, 17 is not that bad.
Yeah. Flip, did they do that Great Bloom? Let's say you're winning too much, right? Did the ref blow the game 10 minutes before time or something?
There was a time where there was the 50 score rule, where they would. It was halftime. If you reached 50 before halftime, it's halftime. As soon as you reach 50, and then if you score within the next 20 minutes, you score 20 more points or something, it's over.
That's boring though.
Or 40. It was 40. Yeah.
Nah, man, that's boring because we want to see violence. Like
no, but you know the crazy thing about this story is I remember my first proper league match when I was 13. Right, it was the first time I played club soccer league. We lost 18-0. Okay. 18. That was the first game. I'd played school. School's a different vibe. It's like I was okay. We lost 18. I still remember it. At 13 years old. I remember we're going on 30 years later, right? I still remember it. It was actually the game I played as a forward that game, right? 18-0 is not a good game for a forward.
Yeah.
My cousin watching the game said, "You know what? I'm going to give you some advice. Just think about this game. Maybe you should start playing defender because at least then you'll be always involved in the game." I was like, okay, so you're saying either I'm a terrible striker or my team sucks and we're going to get more games like this. But I don't find 17 that bad. Like if you're talking 50 points, 70 points, that's heavy.
Yeah, no, I got, so the worst beating I've ever gotten in a rugby match was by 70 points. And it's humiliating, eh?
But that's huge. That's big.
It's humiliating. Flip, what's the biggest score margin you've lost by? I mean, I don't think you've lost very often. And I don't think you've lost by a lot when you have lost, but what's the worst that you can remember off the top of your head?
You must remember we played guys like the Crusaders,
yeah,
and All Blacks, and those type of fellas. I got a couple of 50s in my life, which is not. You remember them? I got one against Crusaders playing for the Cheetahs, where we were ahead halftime. 11 points to 8, and then I think we lost 53-11, somewhere around there.
Jeez.
Yeah, it wasn't fun. And also got in France here, got 50 on a Sunday evening, 9:00, got 50 against Toulon, which with the Guitos and their banners and all those fun characters in them.
Oh God! 9:00 at night. What time's that game finishing? 11 o'clock. You just
bro, get me home.
I waited the whole day for this.
Yeah, I should be in bed.
And that's that bad. Exactly.
Yeah. But do you know the thing is? Do you know once you get a beating like that, your coach can't even say anything. Guys don't even want to talk about it. Whatever plans you had. I remember we lost on a Saturday. It was a first team rugby game. We was playing first team, and we lost then. And then the whole Saturday, Oaks didn't want to speak or see each other. They're like, guys, we'll speak about this on Monday. That was that.
But, and I just want to drop the point, we can pick up the answers or we're going to have a bit of a break now. But, what you're saying there and Flip now, I mean, obviously you've come from a point where you've lost the games big. You say the coach can't speak to you, you don't speak to each other, you just go home and you lick your wounds, right? And you learn because you go, no matter what I do, I never want to lose that way again.
Yeah.
Either I stop playing or, like Flip said, train more, You got to take the lesson yourself. In this story, these kids they don't learn anything. They don't learn anything. They go, oh, mommy and daddy are going to protect me. I want to get your thoughts on that after the break. This is the PTP show. Drop your comments if you're on YouTube. Drop your comments in there. We haven't stolen MKT. MKT is AWOL, not MKT is an A-hole. That is the hashtag for today. It's changed. Long lunch. It's long lunch with PTP. So many changing hashtags. I cannot keep up. Give us your comments. We're going to have a little bit of a break so that James can go have a wee. This is the PTP show, Friday, holding it down. Thank God it's almost over. No, I'm lying. I love it. Welcome back, PTP show, wrapping up all the loose ends. Michigan has postponed water supply. Bullying isn't real when your kids are poisoned. Michigan has a poisoned water supply. Bullying isn't real when your kids are a soft joke. That is MKT. That's what he thinks of the story we are talking about. A school in Michigan lost 17-0 and are now accusing the other team of some form of bullying. All the Karens united. That is level, as my daughter says, that is level 1 Karening. Big story. So just before the break, we were talking about what these kids learn, right? So we said, I got an 18-0. Senzo's got big hidings. Flip lost by 50 as a professional. And you learn. The coach can't tell you anything. Your teammates don't talk to each other, but you make a decision. If you're a kid, you stop playing and try another sport because obviously this isn't for you. But if you're serious about it, you go, right, how can I learn? How can I get better? We feel these kids aren't going to get better because mommy and daddy and school and everybody stood up for them. Now, are we being toxic, masculinity, whatever it is? Are we being douchebags about it? Are we not being sensitive to kids? I don't think so. We're just having the conversation. Senzo, what do these kids learn out of it? Is it not better to just get a hiding, take the lesson and go, I never want to feel that
But
way
they don't
again?
learn anything because they got coddled now. They've been coddled, and like if I'm the coach of that football team, I'd have told them like, you guys mustn't get involved. You're not teaching these kids anything.
No.
Not teaching them anything. Now, because unfortunately we live in a very PC world, and now, when that happens to them again, they're gonna be like, oh no, but like they're gonna be Karens about it their whole lives, and you don't teach your kids anything by shielding them from things like this. This is the way the world works. Like, the world is a cruel place.
MKT again. Senzo went to St. David's. It was an upset when they won. From the crypt. From the crypt, you're never safe. Look at Senzo. Look at that. Look at that. That is a face of disappointment. Oh, fire! Shots are fired. Flip. So, obviously, as pros, when you get beaten like that, tell me about the change room afterwards. What's your guys' process after something like that happens?
I mean, it is a very somber place. It is an industry where every week you go out and it's a short turnover of goals. You need to win. That's the only thing you need to do. You get paid very well to do that as well. So if you lose, it's bad. If you get 50 points, it's even worse because people are so much better than you in the same job that you do. That's like, us going against 94.7's radio show and then they all of a sudden better than us. It's no way, but it happens.
In that bizarre scenario, if you have to be extreme.
Yeah, exactly. But what always worked for me is like, once had a coach tell us, the feeling that you have, that feeling of disgust when you lose, and before you start pointing fingers and stuff, it's just remember how bad it feels. Like we can all remember a good feeling, but remember how bad it feels. And the next time you train, or the next time you're a little bit tired to go out and do your extras and do your skills, just remember how bad you felt when you got 50. And that's like a little silent motivator to get you going.
100%. And how much of it comes from the dressing room? How much are your teammates just getting around and saying, guys, remember the 50? This is not happening again.
This is not it, Alex.
Yeah. Well, that's where you need a strong dressing room. You need strong leaders to be able to have that psychological safety. And speaking about stuff like that, it's fine to lose. What did we do wrong? There's a reason why we lost. If you don't go ask mom for hugs. It's not going to make you win the next time.
Yeah, because I remember that feeling. That feeling sucked, because the thing is, like, now, not only had we let ourselves down, we let the whole school down. Now we had people's girlfriends and stuff like that were like, Jesus, I can't be associated with losers. And now, bro, we were the laughing stock. And it was just like, listen, guys, it's terrible. Like, it's terrible now, but like, guys, let's not forget like this feeling, because.
And I'd like to imagine in this case of the school in Michigan that somewhere at some level this is happening. I really hope so, because then that is a 100% wasted opportunity. And again, I go, at schoolboy soccer, 17 isn't that bad. How many times haven't we heard Wayne Rooney scored 13 goals in a match, or, Ronaldo would score 20 goals in a match as a kid?
Yeah.
It's like 17 in high school football is not that bad if you have a standout player.
Oh, remind me to send you a video. Flip, there's one video, right, where, Michael Jordan's kids were playing in a basketball game in high school. And it was televised on ESPN, and Michael Jordan was actually there at the game, and his sons got an ass whooping of note. It was actually embarrassing. Like, imagine that must happen to you.
Michael Jordan's kids getting
they got like
the beating.
They got an 80 in a basketball high school game, and the one kid scored like 35 points, and they were comparing that kid that flamed them to Michael Jordan. It was
what do you think Michael Jordan's telling his kids? What do you think Michael Jordan's telling?
Did he go hug his child?
No,
No.
straight face, nothing. Because he understands. He was a professional. And he used to administer beatings.
He
So
probably
it's like,
blew his cigar smoke in his face. Like,
yeah, exactly. Probably told them, like, listen, boys.
Give me the Jordans. Give me the Jordans.
Yeah, give me the Jordans.
No
like,
Jordans for you. Give them back.
Guys are going to do that to my name.
No
to
Jordans.
my name, yeah. But I think
Jordans for you.
I think that's when his kids understood that we don't want to be basketball players anymore. Like, this is not for us.
Yeah. I mean, that's crazy. I mean, and Flip, you can relate to a degree. Imagine being Michael Jordan's kids. You got the Jordan name to protect, and you
get
not that
flamed
good.
On national TV, because they don't televise high school games unless like it's a really
Well,
a
unless
big
you're Michael
deal.
Jordan's kids.
Yeah, yeah. I'll send you the link. Yeah.
So also we wanted to wrap up something we were talking about, the 15 million rand stadium in the Eastern Cape. Flip, take a look at this. That is 15 million rand. And so they call that a stadium. And then there is like a little brick building just off that. There were some other photos of a little brick building. I mean, come on, guy.
the Department of Empty Promises. There we go.
Imagine. Look, the view's dope. The view's unbelievable. But guys, 15 million.
And you know, the crazy thing is, like, the Eastern Cape is such a hotbed of rugby, right? So much talent has come out of the Eastern Cape.
Yeah.
And you know what the crazy thing is? And this is the nuts thing that I keep looking at that from the perspective. We're looking at it from like a very privileged point of view. If you're a kid in a community like that the leaders of that community think that this is good enough, you know, what are the kids currently playing on? Maybe this is a hell of a step up for them, which is sad.
I get that.
It's sad.
But
It's
don't
not
tell
right.
people it's 15 million rand.
That's mad.
Do people know what 15 million rand looks like? I don't think they spent even 100K on that.
It's 15 million sitting there, bottom left, in the middle on the table.
There you go. There you go. The 3 Land Rover Discoveries that brought those guys in, that's where the 15 million rand is probably sitting. I know a lot of the news networks went out last week to look at it. But
Look, even the rope they're cutting is not even. It's not even like a proper.
It's not a ribbon.
It's emergency tape. It's construction tape.
I'm telling you guys,
Man, that's a sad state of affairs.
that's 30,000 max, including refreshments and everything.
Do you know, yesterday when I dropped my daughter off at school, and like, she goes to a nice school, but by no means one of the elite schools. But their grandstand is better than that grandstand.
Yeah.
Terrible. Anyway, so this is the PTP show. We're going to wrap up with a little bit of social media. Senzo's been on the socials. Senzo, did you just want to touch in, just before we finish off talking about teams getting hammered, a few years ago in South Africa's equivalent of the FA Cup, where any ranked team can play against each other, Mamelodi Sundowns played against a team called Powerlines. Now, Powerlines was one of the powerhouses of football in the 1980s, but since disbanded, and this is a team carrying the same name, but by no means the same stature. They lost 26-0. Which to this day I think is still one of the biggest results. Flip, Senzo was asking, as a professional, because these guys were semi-professional at least.
I mean, these guys aren't part-timers. Like, it's not a Sunday league. These guys, they're probably in like League 1 or League 2, and you're still getting paid to play. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, 24-0. So Flip, when do you give up? Like, I asked Paulo, like, when did these guys decide? Listen, guys, we're not in this game anymore. We just have to see out time. You know what I mean?
Just like, maybe, I'm pretty sure if you just take the whole team and stand in front of the goal box all game, you can't get to 24.
That's the thing.
Flip, how do you stop that? So I mean, I think in like soccer, right?
Well, I
when
just gave you the
we've-
solution. Just do that. Just everyone stand.
Maybe that's the solution. That is the solution. Listen, I remember that game. They were so disorganized, they probably couldn't even get that right. How do you stop that happening? Because there comes a point in a game where you go,
Well,
oh God.
the poor guys are called power lines in South
They're
Africa.
called power lines. They're called power lines.
It's not so. You don't want to be associated with anything and power in South Africa.
Exactly. In a country like South Africa with our electricity problems, it's no surprise that power lines got a hiding. Flip, how do you stop that, right? So you obviously know, you can sense in a game, this is not going well.
Yeah, we're getting the breaks.
Go
beaten
back
off
down
us.
to basics. Just get rid. What do you do to stop it when you see it coming? Or try stop it.
How do you stop the bleeding?
Yes.
Well,
Because so you sort of said like, okay, you've given us the examples of the big ones, but I'm sure there's been other games where you guys feel, oh no, this could be happening again. How do we course correct to, we might lose today, but let's not get hammered?
Let's not get humiliated.
Like,
yeah.
so for these kids, right?
Yeah.
So say, what happened in this game where we saw, okay, because it got to 8, and we go, okay, this is going one way.
Yeah.
We know it's not going to stop here. They should have regrouped, try something out. Because like I say, so you've obviously been in a situation where, okay, we're probably going to lose today. We're not on it. But how do we make sure it's not 50?
See, it's probably, you probably need to, they probably didn't attack at all. But I mean, because what's 24 is like a goal every 4 minutes, every three minutes.
Yeah.
So that'd probably be the first tactic, is try and keep the ball. Try and, don't go in the defend, because obviously your defense is shit. So try a different tactic. Try and keep the ball and try to keep the ball away from them. 24-0 is pretty severe. 24-0 is you need to, because you're not going to build a culture of winning within a game after all that types of things. So it'd probably be a change of mindset. Try something different. Try something completely. Go the Mighty Ducks. Quack. Tell them a big halftime speech, and then tell them to attack. That's what I would go for.
You see, that's the insight we get, because while I was asking that, I asked in a sporting contest, but obviously in the context of this show, we're taking a beating. We're taking a hammering. We're not getting any better. We're heading to like a podcast version of a 26-0, and we just found out there, change your mentality. Maybe we can save the last 10 minutes or so. Flip, before we get into social media.
We've changed the host, and I mean, I feel it's going better the last 2 weeks.
Wow.
It's going much better.
Well, 9 out of 10 people agree. It gets you the 10th is. Yesterday we were talking NBA, and I don't know how closely you follow NBA, but I mean, you can definitely know the story. Kyrie Irving is a big name player in the NBA, and he is now in a bit of a conflict with his team because he doesn't want to get vaccinated, and now it puts him in a compromising position in that he can't even play in his home stadium, because in New York, nobody who's not vaccinated, if you're not vaccinated, you cannot enter a public arena. Mm-hmm. And there's certain other arenas around the United States that he won't be able to play in. And it's becoming a bit of a standoff. I don't know if you followed the story, A, and B, what do you think just in general of a professional football player putting his team and his league and his teammates and the fans.
Because my thing is that he flaked on his teammates. Like, you flaked on your teammates. You're trying to win a championship. They are serious. Those guys are serious championship contenders. And he's just saying, like, listen, I really don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is an interesting thing, because, I mean, we've all had the big old vaccination debate, because it needs to be, you need to keep your sense of freedom. But, I mean, if you're in that sense and you've sniffed cocaine from a stripper's ass and now you don't want to take a vaccination, then it depends on the type of person he is. I'm also in the greater good of his team. That's probably not the wisest decision. They have a similar thing going on in top 14 over here, where the players need to start paying for their own PCR testing.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So listen to this. So listen to this, Flip. So Kyrie Irving, he plays for the Brooklyn Nets, and just on money alone, this is just money. I'm not talking about like championships or whatever. Just what he's sacrificing his pocket. He's leaving $16 million on the table, right? As well as a $185 million extension. So he stands to lose about $200 million.
But quite rightly, as we mentioned yesterday,
is it just because he wants to take a stance against something, or is he just he's scared?
What he's saying is that people shouldn't. It's so funny, the irony behind this. He's speaking about that thing where if you don't get vaccinated, why should you lose your job? You know what I mean? And the funny thing is that now he's potentially losing his job because he's taking a stand for, you know what I mean?
But based on what? He can't lose his job. He has a watertight contract that was put together before COVID that wouldn't have had any of these sorts of conditions in it. So he possibly stands to lose nothing.
Well, I mean, it's probably going to be that you still need to perform and need to be ready and available. That's like a sports contract thing. You need to do whatever. So, I mean, they could easily go put that against them and say, okay, cheers, mate. But I mean, then also they won't be stupid because any other team will just pick him up June next year when Corona's long and forgotten.
And that's the thing. He'll just move on. So he has nothing to lose.
He's got everything to lose because the thing is, look.
The next person will get him. The next team will take him. We spoke yesterday about the NBA, is that the NBA players only care about the contract and the ring. And he can mess his team around. At the end of the day, it's his teammates who are going to go, well, we had a massive chance of winning with you. And it's the fans.
Yeah, it's the people.
Speaking of, have you guys seen Bad Sport?
Yes.
That's shocking.
Did you get that?
Which episodes did you watch?
We've all watched the Hansi one. Let's be honest.
I've started with the Hansi one, although it's the last one, which is a little bit, Hansi's my alma mater, so it was a little sad one.
Yeah, but just watch till the end.
Yeah, I've watched the first one last night about the college guy
and what was your opinion on
the
it?
net skimming. It's sad. They have a point where they just need to pay the college football guys. I mean, they were worth doing it for 20,000. And obviously, if the bookie just told them, mate, don't go out and buy freaking everything you can now. Just calm down. We'll be fine. Everyone was in it,
Yeah, it's just for me. It's just weird to see like all the stuff because like, at what point? Okay, we get athletes and stuff like that, but like, for me, it's like I was saying to Ryan yesterday. When you go to an organization, right, you sign a contract, and you know what's expected of you. You know what I mean? And if you don't like how that goes, go work somewhere else. It's simple. If they tell you no slacks or no tracksuit pants at a place, that's what it is. You can't say, no, I'm a human being and whatever. No, you chose to work there. You know what I mean? Like with Kyrie Irving, he knew this was coming. And he knew this law didn't come up in you. Where did he think he was going to play? On the moon. That's the thing. Like, that's, for me, it's crazy.
Sportsmen behaving badly.
It is weird, though.
Yeah, just before we move on from that, Ryan just wants to chime in.
I saw last night Kyrie Irving actually went on a 20-minute live stream on Instagram.
Yeah.
And he wasn't like apologizing or anything. He just was basically stating how he finds it unfair that organizations aren't allowing, people to continue their work without getting vaccinated. And he was just saying that I'm going to stand with what I believe in, and I'm not going to budge. And they were speaking about it this morning. And all the fans are highly upset about it. But he's been causing trouble in the NBA for quite a while now. So yeah, he went on last night and made sure his stance was firmly put in for the public to see.
Look, because he said last night on his Instagram, on his live Instagram, he says, "I'm standing with all those people that believe in what is right. Everybody's entitled to do what they want, what they feel is what's best for themselves. Seeing the way this is dividing our world up, it's sad to see people are losing jobs to mandates."
Flip, can I leave the last word on this with you?
Guy needs to get a life.
I agree.
Get a life, Kyrie Irving. Get a life. It's a trade-off. Unfortunately, and Flip will relate, when you are a professional sportsman representing people, there is great sacrifice that comes with that. There's power and there's influence, but there's also sacrifice.
That's what you do for a life, man. Exactly.
That's
what you do for a life.
Yeah, because James Harden, who's his teammate, hasn't spoken to Kyrie Irving because he's probably like, this guy's an idiot.
Yep. This is a life. That's why Flip is the housewife's favorite. #housewife's favorite. Thanks for joining us, Flip, on the PTP/MKT show. From next week, normal service resumes. Flip, any sports you're looking forward to this weekend? Oh, we've lost Flip. Okay. So anyway, this has been the PTP Show. Thank you, Senzo. Thanks all the guys on the team
You got it,
for
bro.
joining me. You can find us Cliff C Sport on all the socials, Cliff Central Sport on YouTube and the podcasts. I hope I've said that right. Give me a thumbs up, boys. Yes, I think I got that right. And before we sign off, I hope you guys have a good weekend. Goodbye from Senzo. Goodbye from the whole team here. We've got a video from MKT from the grave. I hope it's family friendly.
Not sure if this is going to make it to you in time for the show today, but I was just listening as I was going between all of my meetings. This came from like my 400th COVID test, but I just heard about those dumb bitch kids from Michigan. What a bunch of bitches. There's no bullying. You're just a bunch of soft bitches. Not sure if this is going to make it to you in time for the show today, but I was just listening as I was going between all of my meetings. This came from like my 400th COVID test, but I just heard about those dumb bitch kids from Michigan. What a bunch of bitches. There's no bullying. You're just a bunch of soft bitches. Not sure if this is going to make it to you in time for the show today.
Yeah. Okay.
I was just listening as I was going.
Okay, we're on an infinite loop there. MKT is triggered by, I think there's so much to trigger MKT. Snowflakes, Karens, softies. I gotta tell you, it takes a lot for MKT to swear, and to swear on the show.
You forgot James.
He is angry.
You forgot James. I also trigger him quite often.
Oh, yes. But you fall into all of those. Soft, Karen, Snowflake. Listen, guys, thank you for all your help for the past 2 days. Thank you for making it. It makes it so easy to stand on the show with the amazing team I have. Trust me. I just get on here, talk nonsense. Everyone makes it so easy to slot in. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoy the podcast. Tell a friend, find a friend, share this podcast, share the show. We are the #1 name in sports entertainment. I'm telling you right now, between 12 and 2 on YouTube in South Africa,
That's
there is
right.
not a better sports show. Guaranteed. We are the hell out of here. Have a good weekend. Go Ranieri.